ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। Thank you, Ji. Verse number 33, page number 145. Prakarana is dream and memory. 14th Prakarana. Sapna and Smriti. Prajna Pranankari Atma. It is the Paramatma. Atma means Paramatma Ji. Atma means Paramatma. Paramatma is Jivatma, identifies with the breath, prana, and prajna means the thought. Prajna prana anukari atma. Atma anukari means, it behaves exactly the same way as the other one. It's called anukaram, imitating. It behaves exactly like the body behaves. It behaves exactly like the thought behaves. It behaves exactly like the breath behaves. Prana anukari atma. It is in identification with the body, the breath, and the thought. Chaya iva akshadi gocharaha. It becomes atma identified with the breath and the body and the thought. Looks as though it seems to be an object of senses. You look to yourself as an object, as an individual, objectifiable individual. That objectifiable individuality is what is called chaya iva, like even the reflection of the sun. You don't look at the sun above, you look at the reflection. The reflection of the chaya means, here it should be taken as the reflection of the sun. Chaya iva akshadi gochara. Akshadi gochara means the sense object. Akshadi gocharaha. It becomes an object, like the reflection of the sun. The reflection of the sun identified with the water. If the water moves, the reflection also moves. If the water is shaky, the reflection shakes. But the sun doesn't shake. The sun above doesn't shake. Even though the water is reflecting the sun, but the real sun doesn't reflect, doesn't shake. The reflection of the sun only shakes when the water shakes. In this manner, this Jivatma also is like that reflection. Chaya iva. Who is that Jivatma? Why it is nothing but Paramatma identified with the body, the senses, the mind, the intellect, and the breath. Pratyaksha akshadi gocharaha. Jayati iva lelayati iva cha uktaha. The Shruti always says Jayati iva as though it meditates. It Jayati iva. When lelayati iva, Jayati means, it is as though when you are quiet, as though quiet. Lelayati iva means shaking, as though shaking. Because shaking and motionlessness both are mithya. Iva as iva. Jayati iva, lelayati iva. Because the Paramatma identifies with the body, and therefore when the body is moving, lelayati iva. The Atma also seems to move. You seem to move with the body. Therefore, if you have to go to America, you go with the body. The body only travels. You don't travel. Because the America is in your awareness. The perception of the awareness is in America. Perception of America is in awareness. Therefore, the awareness doesn't travel. Only the body travels. And the awareness thinks that I am also traveling. I am also traveling, he thinks. The Atma thinks that I am also traveling. The physical travels. The like the sun above does not shake. The reflection of the sun shakes when the water shakes. Therefore, here, Jayati Iva, Lelayati Iva. That Lelayati Iva is not given here. We have to say Jayati Iva, Lelayati Iva. Lelayati means moves. When the body moves, it moves. When the thought moves, it moves. When thought is quiet, you are quiet. But so Shuddho Mukta, Shuddha, it is by nature, it is Muktohi. Even though the Shruti says Dhyayati Iva, Lelayati Iva, but by Swarupa it is Shuddha, it is pure, Muktaha, it is ever free. Swatohi Saha. From its own point of view, the self is, as Paramatma, it is free, it is pure, it is peaceful, it is ever peaceful. It's not once in a while peaceful. It is ever peaceful. And therefore, Swatohi Saha. Swataha means from its own nature it is ever peaceful. As Paramatma. Paramatma as Jivatma is traveler. Paramatma as Jivatma thinks that I am traveling. When the body travels, you think that you are traveling. When the body is motionless, you think that you are motionless. The body is having motion, and the body is moving, and you think you are moving. And therefore, the movement and the motionlessness, both of them are as though that they are not the nature. It's not that having been moving, you become still. Supposing the Jayati Iva Lelayati Iva means Jayati Iva means it as though motionless. As though motionless means you have been moving and then you become quiet. And it is not that. Paramatma is ever peaceful. Paramatma is ever peaceful. It's not that now once in a while it is peaceful. It is different from that. And therefore here it is said, Shuddhaha Muktaha Swarupataha Swataha. By its own nature it is pure and it is ever free. Swatohi Muktaha Swataha Shuddhaha Swatohi Saha. Saha means Atma by nature is ever quiet. It is not having been moving, it becomes quiet. It's not like magical chairs, musical chairs. Musical chairs, You are moving around the chair. And then you want to sit in the chair. And then when you are sitting in the chair, when you sit in the chair, you are quiet, all right. You are not moving. But when you are walking around, moving around the chair, before the whistle goes off, you will move in the chair, move around the chair. And that is called movement. That movement is only for as though, because it is not Paramatma's nature to move around and then become quiet. To move and then become quiet. Jayati Iva, Lelayati Iva. Dhyayati means it as though meditate, so quiet. Lelayati means it as though moving. As though moving as means it's not true. As though means it's not true. It's not the actuality of Atma. The actuality of the self is that it is ever motionless. It is akartru Atma. It is akarta Atma. It is akarta Atma. And therefore, akartrutvam is the nature of the Atma. Akartrutvam is the nature of the Atma. And therefore, here it is said, Swataha Muktaha Swataha Shuddhaha. It is Swataha Shuddhaha. Jayati Iva Lelayati Iva. Iva means as though, as though. As though means it's not true. In actuality, it is not true. It's not having been moving, and now having been moving, it becomes quiet. It's not true. By nature, it is ever motionless. It is ever motionless. It's not alternately. It moves now it moves, now it is quiet. That is Jivatma. Jivatma becomes now quiet, now moving, now moving. Like when you are on Sundays, you are quiet, you are lying down on the bed, you are quiet. But on other days, you are moving. The thought is moving, The body is moving, the breath is moving, and you are struggling. The struggle is for some time. When you are moving means struggling. The movement is nothing but struggle. Even though it looks as though it is a more mobility, but it is struggling. Ji. Atma as Jivatma, it is struggling now and it is quiet now. In sleep, it becomes Paramatma. Jivatma loses the Jivatvam and becomes Paramatma only. And there it is Paramatma only. It doesn't become Paramatma, it loses the Jivatvam. The individuality is left around, and therefore it is left off. The individuality is gone. And the individuality is gone, the limitation is gone, it remains Paramatma only. It remains the same Atma Paramatma, it remains as Paramatma. And therefore the Jivatma is Paramatma. Paramatma is Jivatma. Jivatma is Paramatma only to say that. Jivatma is Paramatma to say that, to unfold that. Jivatma is Paramatma. We first say that Paramatma only became Jivatma. Tat Srishtva Tadeva Anupravishut. Having created the body, that the creator himself enters the body. Having created the eyes, he enters the eyes. Having created, he enters the senses. In this manner, the creator the creator himself becomes the Jivatma. The Paramatma itself becomes Jivatma, first it says. Then it means the Tatparyam is the Jivatma is Paramatma. That is just to show that the Jivatma is Paramatma. We say that Paramatma became Jivatma. This is very important to know, understand. It is the Paramatma that becomes Jivatma. It is the same Paramatma in you, the same Paramatma in me, the same Paramatma in everyone, in all the living beings. And therefore, Eka eva Bahuda, 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 Bruvanti, Bahuda Bruvanti. It is one truth. Many people, the wise say, talk about it in many ways. It is one truth. That is important. That the wise speak many truth in many ways. That's not important for us. What is important is whatever is present in all the living beings, the consciousness is the same. The thoughts are different. The thought should not be taken into account as the truth. The thought is different. Consciousness is free from the thought. Consciousness, it is a thought that divides between you and me. You have the thought that you are that body. I have the thought that I am this body, and therefore we are different. Otherwise, in sleep, these thoughts disappear. When the thoughts disappear, there is only awareness. And awareness alone is not something that can be divided. And therefore, awareness is one without a second. It is Advaitam. And therefore, from its own point of view, Atma is indeed the Jivatma. In order to show that the Paramatma. Why do we say that the Paramatma is Jivatma? Because ultimately it has to be unfolded that the Jivatma, the one who looks like the individual, he is not an individual. He is indeed Paramatma. This is just to show that it is said that. It is said in that manner. Next verse is what? Apranasya amanaskasya. Aprano hyamano subraha. Apranaha. Apranaha means he is free from the breath. He is independent of the breath. And the breath on breath depends the body. Body's living depends upon the breath. The breath is taken by breath. The breath is done by the body. And therefore, the physical body breathes, not Atma breathes. It looks as though Atma is breathing, but Atma, when it is identified with the body, it thinks that it is breathing. When it is breathing, but actually, who is breathing? The body is breathing. The Atma is not breathing. And therefore, Atma doesn't breathe. Atma is. And presupposing the existence of the self alone, presupposing the presence of the self alone, is everything present. Everything is. Everything looks to be, not is. Everything looks to be. Like we can't say the snake is. The snake appears to be. The snake looks to be. The snake is seen to be, only presupposing the presence of the rope. Similarly, the universe is seen to be, is only seen to be present, presupposing the presence of, peaceful presence of your being, peaceful presence of your being, the peaceful presence of the Paramatma. And that is exactly what is said here. Aprano Yamanaha, it is free from the breath, it is free from the thought, and Subraha. And once upon a time it was said, one person said, my son's name is Aman. Immediately I came to know Apranaha, Manaha, Subraha. He is thought free. Thought free means, don't say thoughtless. He is thought free. Thought free truth. He is thought free truth. He is a thought free truth. But generally, Amanaha means, it is taken as the Aman. It is a peaceful. Peace also means only Amanaha, Subraha. Then also he is free from the thought only. Peace is not something other than you. You are only the peace. Peacefulness, peaceful beingness is yourself, is your nature. Peacefulness is your nature. And therefore, Atma's nature is peacefulness. And therefore, peace is not other than yourself. Peacefulness is not a thought, please. It is thought-free being is peacefulness. Silence is not a thought. Silence means silent beingness. Silentness of the being. Silentness of your being is called silence. Silence is not a thought. If silence were thought, you can only think of the silence only when you are aware of the presence. And silence means the absence of the sound. How can you feel the absence of the sound? Do you feel the absence of the sound? You can see, you can be aware of the absence only when you see the presence. You can only think of the absence. You can only when you see the presence. That is why after waking up, you may say that I was peaceful. That means that there was no disturbance. You will say. I said there was non-disturbance is only from the waking point of view. You say that it was free from disturbance, but there was no thought of absence also in the sushupti. In the sushupti, there was no thought of absence also, and therefore in sushupti, the peace is nothing but your presence. Your own presence is the peacefulness. Your own presence is the peacefulness. And therefore here, aprana, amana, shubra. Tatha, asansarge. Asansarge means, sansarga means noun adjective relationship. Atma doesn't have any noun and adjective relationship. Atma is not the noun with adjective, nor is it an adjective of another noun. Nor Atma consciousness is not an adjective of body, nor is it an adjective of the body, nor is it a noun with body as an adjective. Therefore, between the body and consciousness, there is no sambandha, there is no relationship. But it looks as though there is a relationship, and therefore it is called a notional. The problem is notional. And therefore, here it is said, asansargina drishehe, the seer, that means the consciousness, drishehe, the consciousness, tatha asansargina Vyomovat Vyapinaha, and all pervasive like space. The space has no boundaries. In the same manner, consciousness has no boundaries, please. Even if you draw a boundary, if you by around yourself, consciousness, if you draw a boundary, if there is a boundary, it has to fall in awareness. Awareness accommodates that boundary also. And therefore, it has no boundaries. Boundaries, even if you think of boundaries, the thought of boundaries are only within consciousness, and therefore consciousness has no boundaries. And just as space doesn't have boundaries, space doesn't have boundaries in the waking state. In the same manner, consciousness also doesn't have boundaries. Is not the waking state the boundary? No, waking state falls within consciousness. Is not a dream state the boundary? No, because dream state also falls within consciousness. Is not darkness falls in? Is not darkness a boundary? Darkness also falls within awareness. You may think that it is darkness, but actually it is non-perception of the five objects. The non-perception of the five objects, perception is within awareness, non-perception also is within awareness. Presence of the object is within awareness, and if you entertain a thought of absence, then also that thought also is falls within awareness. There is nothing that can escape from the sight of awareness, and therefore awareness is Krishna. It is all inclusive. All inclusive means if it includes the thought of the presence, the thought of the absence, both are included in the consciousness. And therefore consciousness is unlimited, it has no boundaries. Therefore it is said, Vyamavad Vyapinaha Yasya Asya Katham Karyam Bhavet Mama. And he thinks that Shankaracharya thinks to me, I am that consciousness. How can there be any duty to for me? When I am already unlimited, I am already unlimited. Why should there be any duty? A duty can be there only for a person who wants to accomplish something, who is limited. Paramatma is Jivatma, as Jivatma, he has got many things to accomplish. But Paramatma doesn't have anything to accomplish. Swarupata, he is unlimited. By Swarupa, he is unlimited. For the unlimited being, there are no many things to accomplish. There are not many things to accomplish. There is nothing to accomplish. He is already unlimited. The limited can break out of the limitation by achieving this and that. That is what he thinks. The Jivatma thinks so. But Jiva has got many things to accomplish. But Paramatma doesn't have anything to accomplish. And therefore here he says, Mama, to me, Bhavet Mama, Katham Karyam Bhavet, Katham, how Karyam Bhavet, to be done, the duty, the do and don't, how can there be to me? And therefore, I don't have anything to be done. I don't have anything to accomplish. And therefore, Vairagyam it is Vairagyam. It is more than Vairagyam, it is Jnanam. Only Jnanam, Viveka creates Vairagyam, not Vairagya creates Viveka. It is wrong to think that Vairagyam creates Viveka. It is wrong to think. The Viveka creates Vairagyam. You have to discern between you and the form. Then alone you get the Vairagyam, that you are not the Deha. And therefore, if you are not limited, then naturally one can think that one is not the Bhava, one has the Vairagyam, that he has nothing more to accomplish. Therefore, unlimitedness is its nature. Unlimitedness is the nature of the self. Paramatma is free from being accomplished, free from any accomplishment. Is free from the duty of any accomplishment. He has no duties to be done. Therefore, duties are there for survival. Duties can be there for mental purity. But he has already accomplished, he has already known the truth. And therefore, mental peace also is the peace of his being. Mental peace also is not coming from mental purity. It is not from the values. The values are effortless for him. The values may be effortful for an individual, for a jiva, but they are effortless for Paramatma. And therefore, as a Paramatma, the values are effortless. And therefore, it is said, Asunsargineha drishehe vyamavat vyapinaha asya katham karyam bhavet mama. To me, why should there be any doubt, any duty to me when I have nothing to accomplish? I have no desire to survive also. Shankaracharya says, I have no desire. And when I am not the body, let the body go. Let the body go, it doesn't matter at all. And therefore he thinks that let the body go. And the body, therefore there is no desire for survival also for him. There is no desire to accomplish this or that. And therefore for him, there is nothing more to, there is no duty at all. And that is what this verse says. And then asamadim na pashyami. Next verse it says samadhi means the peace. Samadhi. Everything is that is called samadhi. What the source of everything is called samadhi. The atma is called samadhi. Samyak adhiyate asminniti. Samyak adhiyate. Samyak means very well within accommodated in the self. And that is why it is called samadhi. Samadhi should be taken as the peace. That it accommodates everything is the peace, is the serenity. The space is endless, has no boundaries because it accommodates everything. It is not divided by the fire, air, etc. They are all within space. They are all accommodated in the space. And therefore, similarly here also, the consciousness accommodates everything, and therefore it is complete. And therefore, that it is complete, it peaceful also. You have to be unlimited to be peaceful. You cannot be peaceful by just controlling the thought. By controlling anything, a control does not mean control means it will flare up again. It one day it will the pent up things happen, pent up things break up, and therefore here it is said, um, samadhim na pashyami, asamadhim na pashyami, samadhim na pashyami, nirvikarasya sarvada, asamadhim. The peacelessness I don't see, I don't experience. Here Bhagavan says, Paramatma doesn't experience any peacelessness, any disturbance it doesn't have. And therefore, asamadhim na pashyami. I don't see. And he identifies himself as the Paramatma. He thinks that he is talking himself to be Paramatma. Shankaracharya is saying, I don't see any as Paramatma. I don't see any brand. I don't see any disturbance in me. Asamadhim na pashyami. Nirvikarasya sarvada. And I am a nirvikara. Nirvikara means free from change. And I am free from change. And the changeless me doesn't have any disturbance in me. And therefore, I don't have to undertake any samadhi also. And therefore, people always say that he has taken samadhi, he has gone into samadhi. I say a person who goes into samadhi comes out of it also. To go into also is going into also is a travel is like going into a village. A person who goes into the house comes out of the house. A person who goes into the body comes out of the body also. And therefore, to go into samadhi means to come out of the samadhi. And therefore, utthana samaya, samadhi samaya shanti, utthana samaya disturbance again. There will be ashanti. There will be ashanti. And when there is no ashanti, when there is ashanti, again he has to go into samadhi. And therefore it becomes a problem for him. Again and again he has to go into samadhi. And that is not the truth. Vedanta says you don't have to go into any samadhi, you don't have to go into anywhere. You will understand that every thought is within you. You are the accommodator of all thoughts. And therefore, like this, the water is the accommodator of all waves. The waves are there in water. The water is there in waves as the adhishtanam, as the truth of the waves. Yeah, the water is there in every wave, but as the truth of the wave, as the substratum of the waves, it is there. The water is there. And we can also say all the waves are in water. All the waves are in water, and that wave has to recognize the wave as a wave is only a wave, is only a jiva wave. Wave as water it is Paramatma. As water it is Paramatma. As water, it has no janma, it has no mrityu, it is ever free. And it is all accommodating. It accommodates all the waves. Whereas the wave as a wave, it is accommodated. Whereas the wave as water accommodates, and therefore there is a difference between water and the wave. And similarly, there is a difference between Jivatma and Paramatma. Jivatma is the thought that I am the body. That makes me a Jivatma. And the one who thinks that, the one who understands that I am not there, he is indeed Paramatma. And therefore, here it is said, Brahmanaha me, I am the Brahma, Nirvikarasya Sarvada. I am always Nirvikaraha. I am free from change. Even in the state, even when I am thinking that I am changing, there is no change at all. Even when as a jiva, one thinks that I am changing. As a jiva, one thinks that one is changing, but there is no change in the Paramatma. As Paramatma, Atma as Paramatma is free from the change. But that same Paramatma as Jivatma thinks, as Jivatma thinks that I am changing. I have changed a lot, etc. My mind is changing, etc. When my mind is changing, I am also changing. In this manner, the Jivatma thinks. But the Jivatma's thinking is a wrong thinking. And therefore, Paramatma always thinks. Paramatma is ever free from Nirvikara. Vikara, change. Vikara, Nirvikara Sarvada. Brahmana me. I am the unlimited being, Brahma. I am unlimited being. Brahman means the unlimitedness. Atma is Brahma. Atma is Brahma means Atma is not the Deha. Atma is Brahma means Atma is not Deha. If Atma is not Deha, then Atma is Brahma only. Because the unlimitedness, if you are not limited, then you are unlimited. All that you have to understand is that you are not limited. You are not Deha. As not Deha, as non Deha, you are not limited also. Deha is limited. And if you are Deha, then you are limited. The unlimited becomes the limited. The unlimited is seen as limited. But the limited is the limited when you are not the body, you are not limited also, you are unlimited, you are Brahman. Therefore, it is said, Vishuddhasya, Brahmano me, Vishuddhasya, the pure being me, Shodhyam Nanyad Vipapinaha, Vipapmanaha. So I am ever pure, and I am not a papi. I am not a papi. I have not committed any sins, and therefore there is nothing to be purified. I don't have to purify myself. The nature doesn't have to be purified. The nature is ever pure. And that nature is exactly what is our nature. Our nature is also the same. It is the thought, there is a thought of impurity. There is an identification with the body which is impure. But the consciousness by itself, as soul consciousness, it is ever pure. It is ever pure, it is ever free. And that is Paramatma. The thought that I am the body makes us Jivatma. Otherwise, we are all one being. We are all one being, one truth alone. And therefore, that is why it is said here, Nanyad Vipatma Nanyad. There is no other Papa. I am not a Papi, Vipapmanaha. I am free from all sins. And therefore, that is why I have been able to get the knowledge. Otherwise, if I had committed any papa, then I would have been in the law of karma. But I would have been suffering. I would not have got the knowledge. I got the knowledge, and therefore Shankaracharya says here, I am vipapa means the nature of the self is free from all the sins. That is the nature of the self. That is the nature of the self. Nanyad vipapmanaha. There is no other papa. Shodhyam. The Shodhyam Nanyat Vipapmanaha. There is nothing to be purified in my case because I am Vipapi, Vipapma. Vipapma means free from papa, free from sin. Vipapmanaha. This is the third verse, Ji. And the fourth verse is 36th verse is Gantavyam cha tatha naiva. I don't have to go anywhere. Gantavyam cha, I don't have to go anywhere. Wherever you go, there are only objects. Wherever you go, there are only objects. Wherever you go, it is only, you are only within space. You are within the creation. Wherever you go, the body goes, you feel that you are there. You are also going with the body. When the body is traveling, you think you are traveling. When the body reaches, you think you have reached. But actually, consciousness doesn't reach anywhere. Consciousness doesn't travel. But they were identified with the body. It thinks that when the body is traveling, I am traveling. When the body reaches, I reach. In this manner, it thinks. And therefore, here it is said, Gantavyam cha tatha naiva. There is no place which I have to reach. Wherever I am peaceful. As a jiva, jivatvam is mithya and paramatmatvam is satyam. Jivatvam is mithya. The thought that I am the body is mithya. Whereas everything else is satyam. Paramatma is satyam. Yantavyam nasti. Sarvasya achalasya cha. Sarvasya asya achalasya cha. And I am sarvagatasya. I am already I am there everywhere. And also and I can't move, I can't travel. The body can travel, but I can't travel. I am already everywhere. I am already everywhere. I am already everywhere, and therefore I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to go anywhere. Sarvasya asya, sarvagatasya, sarvagasya, achalasya cha. Sarvagasya cha, achalasya cha means I am already everywhere. And achalasya means I am already I am motionless. Travel to one place from one place to another place. How can I travel from one place to another place? When I like the space cannot reach itself. The space cannot travel in the space. In order to travel, you have to only travel in space. But that traveling is gone. It is not possible for the space. The space cannot travel in itself. The space cannot travel in itself. Just as the space cannot travel in itself, in the same manner, consciousness also cannot travel in space, cannot move in consciousness. Consciousness also cannot move in consciousness, and therefore everything, even space travels. The space appears and disappears only in consciousness. When it appears, it is accommodated in consciousness. It falls in consciousness. When it is absent, its absence also falls in consciousness, and therefore consciousness does not travel anywhere, and therefore consciousness is achalaha. Achalaha means it is motionless. How can the motionless consciousness travel? When it is free from thought that I am the body, it is Paramatma's consciousness. As Paramatma, it is motionless, achalaha. It is free from motion. And therefore achalasya cha na urdhvam na tat na adaha. Now neither above nor below. The Atma doesn't have neither above nor below. It accommodates the above falls within awareness, the below also falls in awareness, and therefore above and below are within awareness, and therefore awareness does not have above. Awareness, there is no above after awareness. Awareness doesn't have above. Awareness doesn't have the below. Awareness accommodates the above. All that we think that there is above, the above falls within awareness, the below also falls in awareness. Tirova. And also, and if there is any direction, the corner, tiraha, adaha tiraha. Tiraha means tiryag, tiryag. Tiryag means, it doesn't have any, it doesn't have the above, it doesn't have the below, it doesn't have the directions, it doesn't have the tiraha. Tiraha means it doesn't have the corners also. Where even the corners are accommodated. Tiraha, tirovapi, na adaha tirovapi. Nishkalasya agunatvatah. Nishkalasya, and awareness is something. It cannot be. It is nishkalaha. Nishkalaha means it is free from all the limbs. It is not that the mind has got many shodashakalaha. The mind is considered to be, jiva is considered to be shodashakalaha. Shodashakalaha means he has got 16 kalas. Kala means the divisibility. Divisions are called kalas. Shodashakala, pancha, five senses, five organs of action, five pranas, mana, buddhi, ahankaram, chittam. All these things are considered. Mana is the consciousness with thought. Thought is considered to be 15 plus 1, 16 Shodashakalaha. In this manner, Shodashakalas are considered to be the Jiva's kalas. Jiva has got faculties of 16 faculties. Kalas means faculties. Consciousness doesn't have any faculties. Consciousness is one. Like the sun doesn't have any faculties. The sun is not something that can be divided. The sun is divisible. The sun is divisible, but consciousness is not divisible. And therefore, here it is said, Nishkalasya. It is also, and Prata Smarami, Hridi Samsparad Atma Tatma, Sachit Sukham, Paramahamsa Gatim Turiyam, Yatswapna Jagara Sushuptam Aveti Nityam, Tadbrahma Nishkala Maham. Nishkala Maham. Bhashkara says that Brahman I am the Nishkalaha. Nishkalaha means I am faculty free. Nishkalasya Nacha Bhuta Sangaha. I am not the body. In this manner, Shankaracharya says, Nishkalaha, I am free from the faculties. I am free from the divisibility. Divisions are called kalas. Divisions are the divisions are not there in consciousness. Divisibility is not there in consciousness. When the divisibility is not there, divisions are also not there, and therefore non-existent. Nishkalaha. Agunatvataha. Agunatvataha means it doesn't have any adjectives. Agunaha. Agunatvataha means the consciousness doesn't have any adjectives. Consciousness, you are being consciousness. You are being existent. Your existence is called consciousness. There is no difference between your existence and your consciousness. Your being consciousness is not another thing. It's not that you have consciousness. You are being conscious. You are consciousness. You are not. You don't have consciousness. We have to. We think jivas think that we have to create consciousness in all the people, etc. That is all right. The attention you can create, thought you can create, but consciousness you can't create. You can create. You can make them think. You can make them. You can. We have to create awareness. If they say awareness means it's a thought. We have to create awareness among the people. When we say, we mean only the thought has to be created. We have to make them think in this manner. That is what it should be mean. And, that is what should be what is to be understood. And therefore, the thought as thought, we have to create awareness cannot be created. Awareness you already have. You already are awareness, and therefore, and that awareness need not be created. Awareness need not be created. Thought can be created. Therefore, we have to create awareness means we have to create only the thought, the thinking of the people. We have to make them think differently. That is what is called growth. The growth of an individual is nothing but thinking better and better things. Thinking only makes you grow. And not awareness doesn't make you grow. Awareness you are already. You are a full awareness. You are unlimited awareness. Awareness doesn't grow. It is the thinking that has to grow. Ravana has to think like Rama. The Ravana doesn't have to grow in awareness. He is already awareness, and therefore awareness doesn't have to grow. Thinking has to grow, and therefore this is what is to be understood, please. We can only create the thought. We can't create awareness. Even though we use the word phrase, we have to create awareness, etc. But awareness we can't create. We can only create thinking, and therefore that is very important to understand. And therefore, it's not awareness is created. The more of it we will see in the next class. Thank you very much. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, Ji. And I want all the students next class, we will Monday class. I will give the introduction to Mula Vidya Nirasa also, and all the students should come here only, Ji. It will be a good thing to come here and listen to, so that it becomes a booster to me also. I can see all of you also. Please come, all of you, all the students, let them come here. If they come here, it will be nice. And already there are so many students here. But let all the students come here. Thank you very much.